Hey, it's me, Giggens, and welcome to Beach Boys Wednesday. On today's episode, we're talking cassette tapes, specifically your first Beach Boys cassette. I grew up in the 90s, and so in that time, tapes were still like the thing. You either bought the CD or bought the tape, and they were still very popular. Every store sold cassette tapes. And really, tapes were around probably till about 2003, 4, 5, somewhere in there. They really got phased out by that point. But in the 90s, that was just what you bought. You either bought the tape or the CD, and it was just a normal thing. That was just what you bought. So maybe for people who are younger, who didn't grow up in the 90s, this video might not be as exciting, but maybe you have bought some Beach Boys tapes. What I'm getting to is, what was the first album you bought on cassette by the Beach Boys? So I'm going to show up the tapes that I got as a kid. So these are the stack of tapes that I had growing up as a kid. And they mean a lot to me. I keep them in a special place because for me, this is like, without these tapes, I wouldn't be who I am today doing what I do. And I just kind of want to chat about them briefly. Just share some memories. I thought it'd be kind of fun, different kind of video for a change. A little bit of a personal touch, which I don't normally do, but this is Pet Sounds with Carl and the Passions. This is my mom's cassette. It's got the paper shell, or the paper label on the cassette itself. This is not the original case. The original case got broken a very long time ago, so I put it into a new case at some point. But this album for me growing up, I only played Pet Sounds because Carl and the Passions as a kid made zero sense to me. I could not relate to any of these songs. None of it sounded good. To me, it was just weird music that didn't make any sense. Specifically, like, I remember the keyboard intro to Marcella, or Mess of Help to Stand Alone, rather, and being like, why is Carl yelling? It didn't make any sense. So I just play God Only Knows over and over again and play Pet Sounds and get freaked out by songs like Here Today. So, yeah, grew up with this album big time. I remember saving up my money to get this from the Columbia Record House. Remember that? But Beach Boys, Greatest Hits, Good Vibration, 20 Good Vibrations. This is the original one that just says 20 Good Vibrations. In 1999, when the second volume came out and eventually the third one, this album got reissued to say Volume 1. But the original ones do not say Volume 1. So if you find this somewhere on CD or cassette and it just says 20 Good Vibrations, but no mention of Volume 1, you got yourself a first issue, buddy. But this tape was great because I had some songs in here that I didn't have. So I didn't have Kokomo until I got this tape. And maybe Do You Want to Dance and Dance, Dance, Dance. I think those were also new to me. I didn't have them on anything else. We had a copy of Endless Summer on cassette, which was like my introduction to the Beach Boys. So we had that cassette, and a few of these songs weren't on that one. So this was like a really big deal when this came out. I remember this specifically coming out. It was 1995. So yeah, I was a kid when this came out. And yeah, it takes me back to look at this thing. This tape in particular is probably the one that transformed my Beach Boys fandom the most. Do It Again. I've talked about this album a bunch of times on this channel, and it's something I'll always continue to do because without this tape, I really don't think I'd be doing what I do. I specifically remember this album because I saw it at the store one day. We had a store called Caldor when I was a kid, kind of like Walmart or Bradley's, if you remember Bradley's. I'm from the Northeast originally, and I remember seeing this tape in the store and asking my dad if we can get it because I didn't have any money. I was a kid, and we didn't get it at the time. But I remember I drew a picture of the album cover. I like ingrained it in my brain. I drew a picture of the album cover. I left it on his like desk or something that night, and we went out the next day and we got it. And I've had it ever since. So I've had this tape my entire life. But it was cool for me because I didn't have the studio version of Do It Again. I needed that, and I never heard This Car of Mine. I never heard Wendy, I don't think. Or maybe I did. Is that on Endless Summer? I can't remember. I don't think it is. And then Little Girl I Once Knew on Graduation Day, I didn't have any of those songs either. So for me, you gotta remember too, like this is before the internet. This is before you had access to everything and you could only hope to find what you found in the store. And I was a kid, so I didn't know how to research anything. Whatever I saw is whatever I saw. So for me, this was exciting because these were songs I didn't have. Plus the album cover rules. I love that album cover so much. This was beyond Pet Sounds. This was one of the first albums I ever picked up, Beach Boys Concert, and this is that mid-90s issue where if you unfold the J card, you get the entire picture of the album cover, and they recreate the booklet on the inside, which was fascinating for me. So, a few of these songs were on the Concert Days cassette, which I'm also going to show you in a moment. So I had some of these songs, but a lot of these were new. So I had like Long Tall Texan, Little Old Lady, Monster Mash, Let's Go Trippin', the live version of Graduation Day. So this, alright, I think. I can't remember. It's been a while since I've played these, but this tape for me is a big deal because this was my first. I remember getting this thing, thinking, "Wow, like what a!" I have like an actual Beach Boys album. You know, like this is really cool. So that's an important one. This is Concert Days, and another one that's like half the '64 album, half the '69 live album. And I think they just do it by side. Yeah, side one is like Beach Boys '69. Side two is from the '64 album. But it does have, yeah, Papa Oo Mau Mau, The Wanderer, Hawaii. Like, this cassette, we played this tape so much back in the day. That brings back a lot of memories. And then this one was great. We also got this through Columbia Record House, Made in USA. Because a lot of the songs we did not have, like Rock and Roll to the Rescue, Get You Back, Come Go With Me, Rock and Roll Music, California Dreamin', Heroes and Villains. Like, this tape for me was huge because I never heard Heroes and Villains until I heard this tape. And it scared the hell out of me. But it's one of those songs you don't forget when you hear it for the first time. But yeah, Made in USA, this was another essential one in the collection. So there you go, kind of a little personal video here today, talking about my Beach Boys cassette collection. Obviously it's grown. Obviously it's grown at this point to be about, I don't know, 20 times the size of this. But these were the albums that I grew up with that got me on the course of loving the Beach Boys. And without it, you know, I wouldn't be who I am today or what I do today. You would be watching this video. This channel wouldn't exist. So these albums are crucial to who I am. So Beach Boys on cassette. Tell me about your history with the Beach Boys on cassette. What was the first one you ever bought? What was the car that you would like play it in? Did you get a copy from a friend for like a birthday, or did you get one for a holiday? Let me know your history with this. And if you're new to cassettes, if you grew up, you know, well after that era, do you look for Beach Boys cassettes? Do you have a tape player? What's your relationship with cassettes like these days, specifically Beach Boys ones? So I'm always in the hunt to complete the collection from these guys. There's still actually a bunch I'm still missing, like studio album wise. So it's on my list, which is fun because I love that the thrill of the search is still there. And the search itself is still there, in fact, that I haven't got everything yet. And kind of hope I never do. I always want to be able to look for something and feel like the hunt continues, you know? So anyways, here you go. The Beach Boys on tape. That's my story. What's yours? Thanks for watching. See you guys in the next video. Take care of yourselves. Bye-bye.